Welcome to episode 120 of I Thought I Knew How, a podcast about knitting and life and all sorts. I'm your host, Anne Frost, and this episode was recorded on July 5th, 2024. We are finishing up our mini crawl through the new shops that are joining the I-91 summer vacation shop hop this year. If you're just popping in now, you may want to go back to episode 119 and listen to that one first, but you're always welcome to listen in whatever order you choose. We do not judge. But one thing is for sure, we should go ahead and get started. I am recording this episode immediately after finishing recording episode 119, so if there has been some sort of apocalypse or the fiber world is all abuzz about something, please take into consideration the fact that I am coming to you from the recent past. Last episode, we talked with 3 of the shop owners who are joining the I-91 summer vacation shop hop this year, and we will be chatting with the remaining 3 shop owners this time. The shop hop will run August 6th through the 17th, and it's a brilliant excuse to join up with some fiber-loving friends and spend 3 to 11 days touring the yarn shops along the I-91 highway, which passes through some of the prettiest country in New England, as well as through several vibrant cities and within close distance to an amazing number of top quality museums and attractions. You will hear me repeat multiple times in the interviews I'm sharing today that New England in the summer is the best. It's a great time to come visit the area. Now, in the past, these interviews have taken on a certain format. I actually go to the shops. I tell you what it's like outside. I talk with the store owner, and then I do a little look-see-loo around the store. That carries on for our first 2 visits today, but we will be closing out the show with an interview with Corinne of the Woolly Thistle, who is in the shop farthest from my home, and we weren't able to connect until a day or 2 before I needed to leave the country. So that interview is on Zoom, and you won't get all of that visual preview. But I know many of you already know Corinne from her Shopcast on YouTube, and you will have heard about some of her beautiful yarns directly from her. I am looking forward to getting to visit the shop in person when I do the shop hop in August with my local knitting group. But for now, we're going to hop in the car and head over to Simsbury Yarns, which is the newest store to open on the list, and it's the closest shop to me. I will be playing a few songs along the way for you again this time, and I've decided to go back in the archives and pull out a few of my favorites from previous episodes. I hope you enjoy the chance to hear them again. This first song was on the show way back in 2020, and it's still one of my favorites I've ever found for the show, and from this artist. This is Tom Goldstein with Song for You.
To hug the sky, you just need to fly high. It will be cold for a while, but at the end of time I will be on your side. Whoa, please don't go too far. Whoa, please don't go too far. If you want to travel miles, pack your dreams and thrive outside. I will be here for advice while you get into the wild. Whoa, please don't go too far. Whoa, please don't go too far. To leave this world and just leave my home, alone in the dark. I remember we used to smile, but please don't go too far.
I've just pulled up at Simsbury Yarns. Simsbury Yarns is the newest yarn shop. So we have shops that are new to the I-91 shop hop, and then we have Simsbury Yarn, which is actually a new shop here in Simsbury, Connecticut. And I'm looking forward to introducing you to the owner. Let's go inside. So I'm in the shop now, Simsbury Yarns, with Jeannie. Jeannie, you are not only new to the I-91 shop hop, you are the newest store on the hop. And I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about Simsbury Yarns and how you got started and why, and tell us all about your shop.
Okay. So I owned a yarn shop 17 years ago in East Greenwich, Rhode Island, and I sold that in 2012, went back to my corporate job, and unfortunately got COVID during COVID time and didn't really leave my house for a year and a half. And I said to my husband, I needed to find some place to get yarn, to be yarn. And he said to me, you used to own a yarn shop. Why don't you just open a yarn shop? And I said, well, that's not a bad idea. And I remember the community that I created at my last yarn shop. So I've opened in hopes of building a community of knitters where everybody feels welcome, even crocheters. Everybody feels welcome. You know, we all have a knitting past. We all have stashes. We all have what we like and what we don't like. And we don't want people to come in here and feel like they can't touch the yarn, look at the yarn, get to know the yarn, get to know the people. We're here to build a community.
Yeah, and we were talking a little bit before we started, and you were talking about some of the response to that has already been super positive.
It's been very nice. People, because we had to change our name at the last minute, we don't have any signs up yet. But people have been very good about driving around and finding us. And if I see you wandering in the parking lot, morning, noon, or night, I will go out and ask you if you're looking for the yarn shop, and then I will invite you in. So if I'm in the shop, I let whoever wants to come in can come in, because I know at the end of the day, you're going to see something that you can't live without. Maybe not today, but maybe next week, or maybe you'll make a new friend, and maybe she'll be wearing something. And I just think by being an open space, you get a lot more buzz and a lot less criticism.
Mm-hmm. You do have sort of an official time for people to come, though, too.
Yes.
Like, everyone's welcome all the time, but you do have an official knit night. Do you want to tell us?
Yeah, so our official knit night is Wednesday from 5 to 7. And based on this week's experience, we had 18 people, and I would say that half of them were here by 4, so they came a little early. And I think once we get into fall and back to school, I'll probably run it till 8 at night. And I also know that people that work till 5 can't necessarily feed their kids, get their knitting, and get here. So by opening it a little bit later, I think it'll be more welcoming to all. Mm-hmm. But if you don't like to drive in the dark, if you don't want to go out at dark, if you've got kids at home at night, you can come in here Wednesday, Thursday, Friday from noon to 5, Saturday and Sunday from 11 to 3. Come in, sit, knit, meet everybody, talk, take a look around, no obligation. We just want people to come in and meet each other. Mm-hmm. And my husband will tell you that I opened the store to make friends because I don't know anybody in Connecticut. And there have been a lot of friends coming through the door. So that's what I'm hoping that people will love about Simsbury Yarns.
Mm-hmm. What are your plans for the I-91 shop hop?
I think what I'm going to do is feature yarns that aren't really available in the shop hop. And a lot of what I have are things that you can't get along that route. So I carry Moondrake yarns, Julia Celine. By then I'll have the Plucky Knitter in. We'll have a lot of Monos and a lot of Madeline Tosh. And in honor of Margie, because Margie and I talked, I was already opening the store when I found out that Margie was retiring. So I went and talked to her. You'll see some of Margie's yarns here. And she kind of gave me an idea of what her 1,800 customers liked. So I do have most of the things that Margie's yarn shop had, but there were some that I have dealt with in the past that I just chose not to carry on. But I think at the shop hop, from me, you're going to see different knitting bags, different knitting yarns that you can't get in the car and drive 2 hours in any direction to see.
The shop hop is coming up first half of August, and I know you're, again, very new, so no pressure. But do you have plans for the future, things that you're adding to your calendar yet?
Yes. So I have been down this road before, and in my last yarn shop, which was called Unwind in East Greenwich, Rhode Island, and it still exists under new owners and a new name, I think I created Yarn Tasters, which is the third Thursday of the month. And in my old shop, I could seat 56 people. Every chair was full by 4 o'clock. The event started at 6. And everyone comes in. I have 2 restaurants delivering food and drinks. And if it's a special event, someone's birthday, something to celebrate, there'll be a cake. And you come in, and basically I stand in front of everybody with the help of friends. I show you new yarns that have come in. And in most cases, yarns you probably haven't seen locally. And then I show you the patterns. And that night, those yarns are on sale. In most cases, if I've designed the pattern or if one of my friends has designed the pattern is free. So you come in, you make a lot of friends, you have a lot of fun. People bring their knitting, but I don't know how many people actually knit at that event. It was kind of like girls' night, and it was really fun, and it was incredibly successful, so much so that the smoke shop in the same shopping center asked me if I would mind if he hosted the men to go to his shop and smoke. And I said, that's fine, but don't come near my store. I don't want anything to smell like smoke. So I feel like I'm very good at creating excitement, creating a buzz about yarn and about new things that have come in. And if you don't know how to use them, I'll help you learn how to use them. My career has been in marketing for 40 years, so I know a lot about building buzz. So that's what I'm trying to do here.
That sounds amazing. You are my closest yarn shop at this point, so I'm especially excited to hear about the yarn tasting events. Those sound fantastic, so watch for me here. So as people are doing the yarn shop, they're getting around. They're all over Connecticut, Massachusetts, Vermont, New Hampshire. And a lot of the time they find themselves someplace they haven't been before. If they're here and it's a meal time or the area tickles their fancy and they want to linger for a little bit, do you have any recommendations for them?
Yeah, so right here in this shopping center, and I'm on the back side of the Simsbury shops, which is on Hot Meadow Road, there is a Starbucks in that parking lot. There is a restaurant called Andy's Kitchen, which is Italian, and he does sandwiches, pizzas, and full entrees. And then 2 shopping centers down, there's La Jolla, which is the best Mexican food around, bar none, because we've tried them all. So that's really good. And then right across the street from us is a huge park. You can go in and picnic in there. There's seats, there's benches, there's a playground if you bring your kids. There's a lot to do right here in downtown Simsbury. And it's a beautiful town to just walk around. Oh, and I forgot, Grassroots Ice Cream just opened right up the street. And they serve organic food, healthy food, and ice cream. And I've only been for the ice cream, but it's within walking distance from here. So we really are in a place that's accessible to supermarkets, restaurants, hotels. We're right across the street from the police station. There's electric car power system in the police station's parking lot. So if you're coming here on an electric car, we can plug you in. So I really think it's a pretty good location. And interestingly enough, in getting to know Margie, when Margie first opened her store 36 years ago, she opened it in this building. So I kind of feel like I brought it back home. So we're excited for you to come on the 91 Hop, and I'll help you in any way I can, having lived here for 2 years only and having no contacts here at all. So
that feels familiar. Yeah. Last question for you is, how can people find your shop online? How can people follow you and stay up to date with what you're doing?
So this is the sad news. Margie and I had made a plan that I was going to keep the name Margie's Yarn Crafts because that's what the people of this area are used to. And unfortunately, at the last minute, the night before we opened, we found out we could not use Margie's Yarn Crafts name just because Margie and I did not set it up properly on the computer. So it's totally our fault. So that night at about 9 o'clock in my kitchen, my husband and I came up with a creative name of Simsbury Yarns. And because of that change, all of our signs, our banking, our cash register, everything had to get thrown out because we were set up as Margie's Yarn Crafts. The state of Connecticut views me as Margie's Yarn Crafts because I took out a license. So all of that is changing now. My sister was so frustrated that people couldn't find us that she came in with her cry cut machine and stickers, and she put stickers on the window that say Knit Purl Fun. And we've got sweaters in the window, but we know we're hard to find. So I will say this. Most people know Hot Meadow because it's the major road through Simsbury. In the Simsbury shops, which is across the street from the police station, you can park in front and walk down 2 flights of stairs to get to us, or pass the police station, go up to the next corner, take a left, and you'll be in back of our location, which is where we are. Mm-hmm. So we are facing Iron Horse Boulevard. So if you just take a left on Hot Meadow to Iron Horse, we're here. We're next to Le Design Hair Salon. And there's a health club here. There's a bunch of things back here. It's actually better parking back here. It's safer. There's more of it. And again, we're right across the street from the park. So if your husband and your kids need to keep busy, they can go right across the park.
How about online? How do they follow you online?
So our website's being redone to show our new name. So that's coming. I did open a group up on Ravelry under Simsbury Yarns. A few people have found it, not very many. But I have been posting on the Connecticut Yarn Nutmeg Knitters site. I do try and post on Instagram. So I guess my comment overall is I'm very grateful for those of you that have really tried to find me. And I know I haven't made it easy, but I hope when you get here, you'll think it's worth the trip.
I think it's worth the trip. Make sure on your shop hop that you get by here. As Jeannie said, it's in Simsbury Town shops. You just have to come around to the back side and you'll see it right there, even without the signage. It's hard to miss all those windows with the beautiful knits in it. Jeannie, thank you so much for sitting down with me for a few minutes.
Absolutely. I'm appreciative that you came and found me because you did come in and not knowing where we were. So I appreciate it. And I truly am thankful for the people that are coming and looking for me. And I hope once you find us, you'll keep coming back because I do think I have something different to offer.
Okay, you know me. I'm going to take you on a walk around really quick of the shop. When you first come in the door, it's a big L-shaped room. Lots of natural light in here because of the large windows in the front of the shop. Very welcoming space. There's some couches and things that you can make yourself comfortable on when you take Jeannie up on that invitation to come in and knit. There's some really fun articulated mannequins, wooden mannequins that are displaying some of the hand knits. And then the majority of the shop are the sort of square shelves with the yarns stacked inside of them, looking beautiful and decorous and just calling out for you to touch them. But it's also accented with some homey type shelving that has cabinets and things like that with other things available for us. And this is a shop that's still being set up while I'm here. Jeannie is very on top of things, and I'm sure it will be much more put together by the time the shop hop rolls around and people start coming through. But it is already a beautiful space. And I'm kind of kicking myself because as I'm here recording it, I am leaving in a couple of days to go to Shetland. So I can't be here for like 3 weeks, but I'm looking forward to coming back for one of the knit nights. There's a corner here that I'm standing in right now that appears to be mostly dedicated to bulky, and I'm seeing Manos de Uruguay, I'm seeing Barocco Vintage Chunky, there's some Ultra Alpaca Chunky. There's some gorgeous bags here that I have not seen before. They're Aran Flet, and they're like a strong canvas bag with leather handles, and they have these beautiful floral prints on them. As I come around the shop, I'm going around the front of the shop. Let me see. I'm actually on the back wall, but I'll go across the front of the shop here. There's Sweet Georgia worsted here. That's a new wool to me. Red Rosario yarns here. Dream in Color Riley. Oh my gosh, some of these are gorgeous. My wallet is in trouble. Moving my way down, there's a beautiful Julie Aslin yarn that is called Loon, 50% silk, 40% linen, 10% merino. And it looks like it would be a beautiful yarn for summer garments. Pima cotton, some Lang palettes, which I'm seeing in a lot of the shops, very sparkly. Also see some Regia yarn for reinforcing your toes and heels of your socks. There's just a lot here, and the atmosphere, again, very welcoming, very comfortable. Make sure you stop by. As we make our way to Nitty Gritty Yarn Girl in Niantic, Connecticut, I have a song from Jontavious Willis that was also first played back in 2020 when the world was all in a bit of chaos. This is The World is in a Tangle.
Tangle, it's time to make a change. I'm gonna move away and change my name. I said the world's in a tangle. What's going on? I'm going to a foreign land, make it my home. You can be having a good day, as jolly as you can be. I bet you'll get the blues when you turn on the TV, 'cause the world's in a tangle. Oh, what's going on? I'm going to a foreign land and make it my home. Let me hear that mandolin a while. Some promise us peace while we're living, but we have to get it when we die. The world's in a tangle. Oh, what's going on? I'm gonna go to a foreign land, make it my home. Mr. Banjo Man.
I've made my way to Nitty Gritty Yarn Girl here in Niantic, Connecticut. If you are coming on the shop hop and you turn in, it's in a big sort of strip mall location, and Nitty Gritty Yarn Girl will be on the left-hand side of the U formed by the strip mall. It's in one of the storefronts, very cute little shop, and there's lights in the window, and the window has the store name there right in front of it, so really easy to find. And let's go inside. I'm here with Paulette in Nitty Gritty Yarn Girl in Niantic, Connecticut. Paulette, thank you for sitting down with me this afternoon.
It's my pleasure. It's excited to be here with you.
You are one of the new shops on the I-91 shop hop, and so I wanted to come by ahead of time and talk to you about your shop and give people an idea of what to expect. Tell us about Nitty Gritty Yarn Girl.
Nitty Gritty Yarn Girl started in a bus, believe it or not. Wow. We had a little shuttle bus that we converted into a yarn shop. So our business started off as a very small. Our model was yarn to the people. And so we would do fiber festivals and private events in people's homes, kind of like a painting party, but they'd be knitting or crochet parties. And so that was our model in the beginning. And then, of course, the pandemic changed the way we did business, as it did for so many people. And I looked at my husband in a bit of a panic and said, what are we going to do with all this yarn? And he said, well, you're all about yarn to the people, so let's just bring yarn to the people online, which I kind of fought a little bit. But when I realized that everybody was doing that or they were closing their doors, it seemed to be a wonderful way to go. And that really was one of the things that catapulted our business, believe it or not. So we wound up shipping yarn all over the world. We now have a global audience, and we continue to nurture that audience as well as the walk-in customer, which started in 2022. So we went from tiny to global to local and global. And we love that about our business. For us, it's really more about the community that we've created and that we continue to nurture. And that means more to me than anything else. If when you come in our shop, I want you to feel at home and comfortable and peaceful. As you can see, the music behind us, the walls are white. The colors on the wall are the artwork in our shop. And we do our best to have a nice variety for people to choose from.
Yeah, you definitely have the wow factor when you walk in. You have the grid wall all through the store, and you're just hit with all these beautiful colors as soon as you walk in.
Yeah, well, we decided that the yarn shows so much better on the wall. So we do our best. I mean, we keep increasing the coverage that we have of wall space, and the places to sit are getting smaller and smaller, but the yarn is getting more and more. So we've really done a lot. And then the accessories are always a fun part of the business too.
So what are your plans for the shop hop itself?
We're working with some of our distributors to get some trunk shows in here for that, as well as, of course, we have a special pattern that we'll be offering and featuring. But we do a lot of kits throughout the year on our website. So the nice thing about coming to the shop is that we can customize a kit for you here. So our kits will be available, but if you want color A but not color B, it's easy enough for us to switch out.
Yeah. Any hints about who might be coming as a trunk show?
Well, the trunk shows will be garments, not necessarily designers.
Okay.
Because it's not always easy to get a designer in here. But we've got a couple who we work with. I don't know. Whitney Terrell is a designer who we work with here in our shop a lot. And if I can get her here, I will. But I don't know. It may not be in her, her schedule. But we will have lots of designs from top designers who work with our large distributors.
So one of the things that often happens as you're traveling from shop to shop on the shop hop is you end up somewhere and it's time for a meal, or you sort of enjoy the vibe of the town that the shop is in and you want to spend a little extra time. Do you have any recommendations for people?
Well, we love our town. Niantic is on the Connecticut shoreline. So that's the first thing that we think about. And it's the middle of summer. So you're going to be loving being in this town. We have a lovely boardwalk that if you want to just take a walk along the water, it's a 1.1 mile stretch that is very, very well known. And so you can just kind of breeze around by the water. There are some wonderful little cafes and restaurants in town for lunch or dinner. Actually, we have some that are open for breakfast as well. So, yeah, our main street is filled with fabulous restaurants. And then we have, there's a Sleep Inn, there's a Best Western that just opened, there's an Niantic Inn, and we have lovely bed and breakfasts in town. So, great places to stay. And it's a great way to do that because we're off 91, so we're more along the corridor of 95. And whether you're coming down from the New Hampshire area or going up that way, Niantic is a great stop in between. And as I said, you can extend it and stay overnight here and head up that way the next day, or vice versa. Yeah. So lots of great places.
Yeah, my ongoing campaign with the I-91 shop hop is to just make it a vacation in New England. Like, I know it's geared toward local people, but New England in the summertime is my favorite time to be here. There's so much going on. It's such a beautiful place. The temperatures usually aren't so bad.
Right. Especially in August. And by August, it starts to calm down a little bit. The weather calms down a little bit. And we love that our shop is a destination yarn shop, especially because of the online community that we built. When we opened our brick and mortar, we had people come here from Virginia and Delaware, and they're always coming in and out from different places. We had a family, believe it or not, who was from the Netherlands, who came to Nitty Gritty Yarn Girl when we opened. They happened to be in Boston for a vacation, and they followed us online. They knew we were opening, so they came. So, yeah, it's a great destination yarn shop.
That's fantastic. That's dedication, because that's still a few hours from here to make that drive to come over. That's so great.
Yep. We met them on the beach in Curacao.
Oh, wow.
It was just an amazing story the way it happens. Yep. That's how we roll at Nitty Gritty Yarn Girl.
Well, yeah, definitely make your way along the shop hop to get here. As you said, so your shop is along 95 as opposed to 91. There's 2 shops now that are a little further east, and they've both been great destinations. But this one, as I said when I walked in, like, wow, you have a beautiful shop.
Thank you.
So after the shop hop, do you have anything else on the calendar yet?
We're always finding something new to put on the calendar, but our big event that's coming up, we have 2. Number 1, we're at the Fiber Festival of New England.
Okay.
So we'll be there at the Big E, the Exposition Center. And that's, I believe, November 2nd and 3rd this year.
The first weekend of November.
The first weekend in November. And then November 15th and 16th, 15, 16, and 17, we are at Water's Edge for our retreat.
Oh.
So we do a retreat Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So if you are interested, we'd love to have folks join us for that. It's 3 days of fun, relaxing, knitting, classes, and just having a good old time. So, yeah, it's all about retreating. It's about you at the retreat. If you don't want to go to a class, you don't have to. Because if you want to just sit and knit and look at the gorgeous water, that's what we're there for.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So you've mentioned a few times that you have an online presence, and it's not just sort of the store. Like, you have an online presence where
I am the nitty-gritty yarn girl.
So why don't you tell people about your online show and how people can stay up with what you're doing in the shop and follow you online?
Thank you for asking that question. We have a show every Monday night. It's called Twisted Stitches. And we air on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook simultaneously. And it's just Nitty Gritty Yarn Girl on either of those. And it's all one word because there's lots of nitty gritty yarn girls out there. So we go on every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, and we talk about trends and fashions and everything yarn related. Whether it's, we're going to be doing a show on the Pantone Color of the Year fall fashions coming up in a couple of weeks. We have a connection who has a business of You and Improved, where she does the color analysis. So she's going to come on and talk a little about the fall colors and that kind of thing. So it's every Monday night at 8 o'clock Eastern.
Paulette, thank you so much for taking the time to meet with me, and I hope you have a wonderful shop hop.
Thank you, and I really appreciate the time that you spent with me, and I hope you enjoyed spending a little bit more and learning a little bit more about Nitty Gritty Yarn Girl.
Absolutely. Thank you. So coming into the shop, the first thing that strikes you is all the color. It's absolutely beautiful in here. The yarn is along all of the walls, hanging from the metal pegs, and it all just absolutely invites you to touch it as you walk by and have a look. I'm seeing some Juniper Moon, some art yarns. If I come over here to the right, there's a whole wall of Noro that's absolutely stunning, including those huge balls of Noro that are so tempting to me. And I have a feeling that as I go around the shop hop, I might just come out of each shop with a giant ball of Noro. That is what the danger is. Paulette talked a little bit about some of the kits that they have online, and just looking here, there's one for a hat called the Northbound hat. That's a simple Fair Isle style hat, and these are the kind of things that she said, you're welcome, when you come on the shop, you're welcome to customize the yarn that is included in the kits so that you can pick your favorite colors, include the colors that you want. And also, I can say that I just happened to be here on a day when they're doing their sample sales, and they are absolutely gorgeous samples here, hanging on a rack at the front of the store. Working my way more towards the back, and I'm passing through an area of some thicker, bulkier yarns. She carries a fuller line of the Mirasol yarns than I've seen in other stores. Oftentimes I'll see the Mirasol, just sort of one or two, but I've seen wool and cotton, and I believe some alpaca over on the other side as well. There's buttons, there's a whole large amount of Leica needles and notions here. And coming to the back, there's a table of knit blockers and stitch markers and dryer balls and just sort of little gifty type things, including those awesome I-cord cord knit tools. Have you guys seen those where it looks like 3 hooks and you can use it to make an I-cord really quick, just sort of in a crochet kind of pull the loop through notion? She has some here that have her logo on them. So great. And I know people have been having a hard time getting them because it takes so long to have them made. They aren't really being mass produced yet. And so to see those here, that's a great find for people who are coming along on the shop hop. And then there's a sitting area here where she has some sort of soothing music playing that you can sit down and just sort of have a quiet moment and enjoy yourself. And then again at the back, there's more of the juniper moon yarn and the Mirasol bulky. Lots of color inspiration. That's what's really striking me here is the color is just absolutely everywhere. And finishing up, there's some crochet supplies back here as well, and some more kits and bags, pom-poms, things like that. So again, great little shop. Make sure that you make this trip off to the east side and see these shops that are a little bit off the beaten path for the I-91 shop hop, but they are on the shop hop and you want to get over and see them. Great little store. Look forward to coming back with my fellow hoppers. One last song before we hear from Corrine at the Woolly Thistle. This song was first on the show in 2021. This is Take It On Faith by Ben Bostick.
I've loved you since the day you left me. Good timing's never been my thing. I reckon ain't no way to prove love, so I'm just a pray that you trust me when I say, oh baby, I need you now. I'm such a fool, I made a mistake, and baby, believe me now, I'm begging you, you just gotta take it on faith, take it on faith, that I'll love you till the day I die. I'm ready for the quiet life. Yes, I was born a rambling man, but I done did all the rambling that any man can. And baby, I need you now. I'm such a fool, I made a mistake, and baby, believe me now, I'm begging you, you just gotta take it on faith, take it on faith, oh take it on faith, take it on faith, oh baby. That folks can change, or must I pay for the crimes of a man that I used to be? Oh baby, I need you now. I'm such a fool, I made a mistake. Hey, baby, believe me now, I'm begging you, you just gotta take it on faith, 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 oh baby.
So I'm here with Corrine from the Woolly Thistle. Thank you for sitting down and talking with me this morning. I know a lot of people know you already from your shopcast that you have on YouTube. And some people are old enough, like me, to have listened to you way back in the day. I shouldn't be saying things like that. I'm so aging us as I Back
Yes.
in the ancient times.
Maybe we're even the OG. I don't know. We've been around a long time.
Yeah. But I wanted to just give you a few minutes to tell us about the woolly thistle and how you got started and how that developed.
I love to. It's one of my favorite things to do. So the woolly thistle actually started even before it was the woolly thistle. I would say about 10 years ago, I started an audio podcast called New Hampshire Knits. And it was basically just me shouting out to the world to see if anybody would be interested, talking about my knitting. I talked about knitting all the time in my real life, and I just needed to, harness it and put it out there to other knitters instead of boring non-knitters. Although I'm sure I converted one or two through that time before the podcast. But I started the podcast and I really enjoyed it. I learned how to do all the editing and interviewing people and just really learning how to connect with people online. And it was great. And I did that for quite a long time. And then in 2016, my sister back home in Scotland, I'm from Scotland, and my sister was getting married up in Inverness. It was actually on a Thursday, and it was the same week as Edinburgh Yarn Festival. So I went to my sister's wedding, but I was really there for the Edinburgh Yarn Festival. If I'm going to just own up to that finally. But her wedding was lovely, and it was a great time. And then I trucked down to Edinburgh and attended. And I think that was my first year going, and I knew just by my own excitement of seeing the yarns that I really coveted from here in the States on, watching British podcasts and things, or loving Kate Davies, or Daughter of a Shepherd was just launching then. I knew how excited I felt getting to, go meet these people and see the yarns in person, that my friends back home in the States would really, love this too. So that was my light bulb moment at EYF. And so when I got home, I started in earnest with a few different lines of yarn and opened up my shop in July. So actually this month is our 8th anniversary. I started 8 years ago. So yeah, and started in my bedroom and then moved up to the bonus room over the garage. And then Maggie, who people may know from the Shopcast, she would come in on a Friday, which meant I could pay bills and get other admin done while she packed orders. And it was lovely. And then we finally moved out of my house, and we've been in 3 different warehouses since moving out of my house, and we're finally home, which is great because I think with COVID, we just had to keep moving into bigger places, and I did not think that we would need that next space, but we did. So, but finally we are where we can grow into some, which is good. I love it. I love what we do. I love the people we serve, and it's just been life-changing. Never thought that, I'd be busy with a really busy shop with a whole team and serving customers here in the US and everywhere else, actually, with some of the best yarns. I know you will agree, and that, we have the absolute cream of the crop. And I am so in love with what we do because it really makes a difference to people who are growing that wool and living their life. We're helping them sustain that life, which means everything. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You have an incredible selection of yarn for people here in the US. It's Rama Wool you're the first shop that I experienced that from. Some of the Shetland wools and just all around Britain. It's so funny. People will see me knitting with some of the wools that you carry, and they'll say, "Oh, that's a woolly wool." And I'm like, "No, this is a proper wool. This is what wool is supposed to be like. It hasn't been stripped of all its wonderful characteristics. This is beautiful stuff."
Yeah, we actually do call that woolly wool. We sort of talk about, yarn being unadulterated by all different processes. There's still veg matter in there. We love that. And it's not superwash. So for the most part, we do not carry any superwash yarns.
So you mentioned that you're in a new home now, and that actually ties into why I'm talking to you today, because you are joining the I-91 Shop Hop this year, and you're opening a storefront.
Yeah, very exciting. We have heard about the shop hop for years. And so as soon as we were viable to do that, we were in touch with them to join, and it's very exciting. And yes, so now we have a shop front and we are having our grand opening. July 13th is the first grand opening. And that is, we've actually set up time slots for people because we've got to manage parking and things like that. But we'll be open on Thursday evening on 7/18 as well. And then again on a Saturday, 7/27th. And that might be a really nice one to come to if you're interested. Gives people a bit more time to plan and come, and we're not doing time slots for that. Yes, so we decided to open the storefront because, well, we've been asked to have a storefront for as long as I can remember, and it's just never been in the cards as much as we wanted to. We never had room. We were always growing. We were bursting out of everywhere that we've had. So we never had the room, and I couldn't afford to have the warehouse and separate shop. So that just didn't happen. But now where we are, it had this very sort of dentist office waiting room feel up front. You know, it was nasty carpet. There was the slider window where somebody would bark at you, you know. And so we did away with all of that, put down nice flooring, filled it with yarn, and now people can come in and see it and squish it and sniff it and hopefully shop and just enjoy all the beautiful yarns we have on offer in person, which I know lots of knitters want to do. So and also we're located in West Lebanon, New Hampshire, which is in the Connecticut Upper Valley. It's rural, but it's where leaf peepers come in the fall. Lots of places to go in the summer too. So it's definitely on the route north. And I think lots of people should be able to visit us if they're at all coming to this area.
I am constantly plugging New England in the summertime to people because everybody knows to come in the fall.
Right.
But New England in the summertime is just such a beautiful place. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, we've got the seacoast, we've got lakes, we've got mountains. It's wonderful. And then there's lots of outlet shopping if that's your jam as well.
I'm not going to say no to that.
No, never.
So I've been asking everyone if they're doing anything special for the shop hop, and you're opening a whole storefront, so that's amazing. But is there anything else that you're doing for the shop hop?
You know, I think we're taking this year to really learn what the shop hop involves. But we do have a free pattern that is just launching called the Lynx Socks. So I've got it here to show you, and of course people at home want to see it, but it's sort of a baskety weave type texture going down the front. And it's a heel flap and turn. It's sort of a lovely sock to learn how to knit socks with a little bit of interest thrown in. And so that's a free pattern that people can get when they come to the shop hop. We also just came out with magnets for your car or for your laptop, you know, things like that. It's like a Euro sticker, but it's got TWT on it. So you can get one of those if you like too. But no, we're just excited to meet people. You know, we are the most northerly point on the shop hop. So anybody that makes it up here will be a hero. And I'm sure we'll be, you know, celebrating them just for being this far north if they've come from down south. But I hope that we get lots of local people come out as well. That would be great.
You are one of the terminuses of the shop hop. Chances are very good that people are going to end up needing somewhere to eat, or maybe, you know, wanting to spend some extra time in the area. Do you have any recommendations for? Definitely.
You know, if you're just looking for somewhere for lunch, I would recommend going to King Arthur Flour, which of course, I think everybody knows King Arthur Flour. And they have a great campus really, where there's the shop where you can go and buy beautiful things that they sell. And then they've got a lovely restaurant for lunch, you know, very casual. So, but also I would recommend going a little drive into Woodstock, Vermont, which is beautiful and very friendly. Lots of lovely little shops and good restaurants. And also on the way there is Queechee. So you get the Queechee Gorge and you've got some nice sort of touristy shops and things. But the village of Queechee is very nice. You get Simon Pierce, who is that wonderful glass blower. They have a beautiful restaurant if you're feeling fancy. So there is plenty to do right around us for sure. And there's plenty of hotels in the Lebanon, Hanover. Of course, there's Hanover, New Hampshire as well, where Dartmouth is. So if you're feeling like you want to to walk around a beautiful campus, there's Dartmouth too. So yeah, we are well supplied with things to do and see and shop and eat. It's lovely. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just throw in there, Woodstock's where my husband and I were married.
Oh,
So
lovely.
I have special love for Woodstock, Vermont, and it is a beautiful, it's what you think of when you think of a beautiful New England town. It's
It
just
absolutely is.
gorgeous, and yeah.
I'm so impressed that you were married there. That's a beautiful location. And it is. It's actually, I think historically it was sort of owned by the Rockefellers, who paid to put all the overhead electric wiring underground. So wherever you are in Woodstock, you don't see electric wires, messing up the views. It's really pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Covered bridge. There's a farm there that you can go do a tour of. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm really looking forward to getting up again.
I hope you do. And then what you have to do is remember to stop in and see us because we really are surrounded by great stuff.
I have another addition to my list. We actually took the kids up maybe 5 years ago now, 6 years ago now. We were like, it's so great. You're going to love it. It's where we got married. We'll go for a long weekend.
Yeah.
And they had a blast too. They really enjoyed it. So
it really is a force.
New England in the summertime, guys.
It's great in the summertime. It's really lovely in the summertime. You can go out hiking around. In the fall, of course, it's just beautiful. In winter, there's Suicide Six for skiing, which is just I learned to ski there, a lovely little mountain. I was about 23 trying to learn to ski, and it was not pretty. But yeah, Woodstock is really lovely. And it's about, 30, 40 minutes from us on a beautiful, windy, nice road. You're just in the heart of upper New England.
I guess maybe we should talk a little bit more about yarn. Before I got sidetracked, I meant to ask you what yarn you used to knit the socks with.
Of course, I should have said that. So this is Rambler yarn, which is the Woolly Thistle's own yarn. We made it as a sock yarn, but it's 100% wool, and it's a 3-ply high twist. So it's very woolly, and it's actually really strong. I am still trying to destroy a pair to see how long, to see how far I can get without going through the heel or toes. And let me tell you, it's many, many, many wears so far. I'm not washing them either. So it's a little, private experiment. But yeah, so Rambler is, it's inspired by British wool, but it's made in upstate New York by Battenkill Fibers. It's mostly Dorset with a little bit of Romney and Corriedale thrown in. And actually, I think it's really good for garment knitting or accessory knitting. You don't have to just wear it on your feet. So yeah, we've done really well with our Rambler yarn. It's called Rambler to sort of invoke the idea of the British rambling through fields and over stiles and making sure they close the gate behind them when they're going through the farmer's field. And they're wearing their Rambler woolly socks. So yeah.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. I have to get some while I'm there and give it a go. Yeah. I'm trying to get, listeners know I'm very pro wool, but I'm also trying to just sort of get through any blends that I have and just get it used up, donated, however, and just get into just the woolly. So I'm interested to hear. I'll have to keep an eye on your sock experiment and see just how long it lasts, because that sounds fascinating.
I know. I think for me personally, I do give a pass to sock yarn to be superwashed and or have nylon in it, because, they do have to do a lot of hard work. But when it came to making our own sock yarn, we decided to be purists and really work with the type of wool, the type of spinning, the type of plying, and really see what we could do. And actually, we've come up with something that seems to wear like iron. So that's very exciting. Awesome. And while it has a rustic hand to it, it does soften up over time as you wash it and wear it, which is what good wool does. It just gets better with age. So that's always very exciting too.
If that works, that might get me into sock knitting finally, We'll see. I'm not a sock knitter, not a huge fan of sock knitting, but a lot of that has to do with the fact that you have to, in air quotes, use a nylon yarn unless you're willing to darn it and fix it periodically. And I'm not. I just know myself.
Yeah, right. But I think we have so many merino sock yarns that they need that nylon, they need that superwash treatment and stuff just to last the wear and tear that they're going to have. But if you use different wools that are a little bit hardier to start with, and then you put in a high twist and, just construct it in a way that is going to withstand the wear, then maybe you should try knitting a pair of socks. Yes.
Yeah. Give it a go. We talked about the shop hop. Do you have anything else coming up that you would like listeners to be aware of other than the shop hop?
I mean, the shop hop is a huge part of August for us. It's a whole 2 weeks or so. So we'll be open those hours. We haven't quite decided what our schedule looks like, but we are looking for a shop assistant who would come and work for us in the shop. So if you have any listeners that are local to us, they should get in touch and tell us that they would love to be considered, if indeed they would be, if they wanted to. But so we don't know what hours we're going to have regularly yet. But we do already have curbside pickup. So if you order online, you can come in and pick up your order, and we're not going to stop you from having a look around the shop at that point. So there's always that. But we are planning events. We think that having some lovely knitting teachers and or just, authors, that sort of thing, having them come to the shop if we can get them there for workshops or just talks. And of course, we've got to plan a knit night. So it's all in the works. We just haven't quite got there because, we have this little online business to still run, and that is still our number one focus. We are an online shop. That's our DNA, and we love all our customers, even though we don't get to meet them personally. But we do hope that, if they're ever in the neighborhood, they can now come visit us and say hello. So
as you're developing all of these new things, what's the best way for people to stay up to date? How would you prefer that they follow you?
Yeah, our newsletter or email is the best way, and you can go to our website at thewoollythistle.com, 2 O's and 2 L's and woolly. I spell it the British way. And so you can sign up for our email there. And that's where people get the first news. We also have a really thriving Facebook community as well. We have a group there. And if you like Facebook and are partial to that, you can just search for the Woolly Thistle and join our group there. And then Ravelry, of course, we have a lovely, lovely group on Ravelry. I do want to plug both those communities because in most part, they're self-governed and the people there are just lovely. We have, I don't want to jinx myself, but we have absolutely no trouble in our groups. It's very friendly. It's very helpful. There's always people giving each other advice on how to do something and just encouraging new knitters to keep going. They'll get there. And it's a lovely, lovely community. So proud of that.
Corinne, thank you. I'm going to let you get back to your day, but thank you so much for chatting with me today. And everyone, make your way up there for the shop hop. You are not going to regret it, I'm sure.
Definitely, definitely. And thank you so much, Anne, for having me on. It's lovely to talk to you, and I hope to see you soon.
A big thanks to all the shop owners for taking some time to introduce us to their shops and prepare us a bit for the upcoming I-91 summer vacation shop hop. A reminder that you can pick up your bag and passport at the first shop you visit along the hop, but if you are planning to do the hop already, you can make sure you are prepared by swinging by any of the shops involved any time before the hop starts to get them as well. There will be daily door prizes at each of the shops while the hop is going on, plus 3 final prizes to be awarded to 3 people who finish the whole yarn crawl. I'll link to all the stores involved in the show notes. Mark your calendars for August 6th through the 17th, and maybe our paths will cross along the way. A few more things before I go. Of course, the last day of the shop hop is also Stitch and Pitch at Duncan Park in Hartford, Connecticut. Saturday, August 17th, we will be watching a game of baseball together as we knit, crochet, sew, or spin in the stadium with other like-minded fiber crafters. There will be a prize awarded at each inning, and there will be swag bags for those with premium tickets. And there will be fun to be had by all and fireworks after the show, and it's just going to be a great evening out crafting in public. Non-crafting partners and friends and children are all welcome. There are swag bagless tickets available at a reduced price to help make it more affordable to bring them along. And all of the tickets come with an entry for the inning prizes and a $2 credit on stadium concessions. Get all the details and order your tickets at IthoughtIKnewHow.com/stitchandpitch. This is all getting recorded and scheduled to release a few weeks before it will actually come out. I will actually be on tour the day it comes out. And then when I get back home, I have a friend coming to visit for a few days, and then the shop hop, and then the stitch and pitch. And while all of this is going on, I'm going to have classwork to stay on top of and another major assignment to prepare. So I'm just going to take a moment and set some realistic expectations that you will probably not hear from me again in podcast form until September. Maybe I can pop in again before that, but please bear with me as I juggle everything. September's probably pretty realistic. Be sure to grab those Stitch and Pitch tickets because I will definitely be at the ballpark that night, and I hope you will too. But wherever you find me next, I'd like to say thank you for listening and knitting with me for a bit. If you enjoyed the show, please rate and review it in the app you use to download it, and I'd love it if you'd share the episode with a friend. The show notes are where you will find links to the things mentioned in the show, so be sure to check those out. Find me on my social media accounts as I Thought I Knew How, except on X, where it's just Thought I Knew How. The groups on various platforms are all called I Thought I Knew How Podcast. Until next time, may you be blessed with stitches that never drop, yarn without joins, and plenty of time to knit.